Yo, what's up, y'all? We out here, and I'm here to tell you the truth. The cold, hard truth. All right, so some people ask, why the buff missionary, right? They think it's me trying to be slick because, I appreciate the gains and all, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of true, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you know what I'm saying? We out here trying to do our thing in these streets, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, ignore all that. Ignore all that. The reality is, the name actually came from when I was out in Palau as a missionary. And it was my students who actually gave me this nickname. And I have proof, all right? I have proof. I was part of a squad, the Wonder Squad. There it is. There's your proof. We even had shirts made. And let me show you the logos on the back of this shirt. If you can see, you've got, look what we have here. Looks a lot like me, doesn't it? Yes. And you can see that he's wearing a headband. You see the other logos. We had Ruckus Wonder, Hoodie Wonder, Beanie Wonder, Flare Wonder, and Reckless Wonder. And I was Buff Wonder because, you guessed it, these headbands are known as buffs. Now, there may have also been a little bit of additional side joking in there, but it wasn't me. I promise, it wasn't me. Now, next question. People are like, well, we don't believe that these things are called buffs. If you were a fan of the show Survivor, like I've been for a long time, even though they never let me on the show, interviewed twice, talked to some of the head honchos. They didn't want me though. I would have swept that joint. They already know. I collect these, the buffs. And as you can see right here, I'm telling the truth. I do not lie. This headband is a buff. So that's the buff part, right? But outside of the Wonder Squad, it's kind of weird to walk around calling myself Buff Wonder. But I did decide to keep the buff because I really like these. I give you a little bit of history behind it. Originally, I was wearing a bunch of headbands. Played a lot of ball in school growing up. It's kind of nice, Buckets. But the reality is, I sweat a ton. As a result, you can't be balling, having sweat coming down in your face all the time. I don't know how dudes do it without it. I was wearing headbands. I had headbands, armbands, all the bands, wristbands, finger bands. Yeah, that's the thing. Knee bands, ankle sleeves, arm sleeves, all that stuff, all right? I was in. I was in deep. Don't take that the wrong way. But the thing is, in Palau, the headband, eventually, they didn't hold up very well. They would either stretch out because of overuse, or they just didn't hold up that well. Armbands and all this stuff, they didn't hold up that well. So I stopped using them. But when I got to Palau, it's humid out there. It's hot out there. So the sweat level was even worse. Now, this is whether I was actually playing or just walking around on a day-to-day basis. I was the PE teacher my first year in Palau. And the gym is just a covering with the buildings on the side. It's basically outdoor, open air. So the sweat level, absolutely ridiculous. I would go through a couple shirts a day, completely soaked. It was horrendous. Whenever we would go to play, I had to have my headbands. I started using these things because they were just better. If I was out on the water, in the ocean swimming, it was better wearing the buffs. So the buff is the thing. It's become like a trademark. More often than not, I'll probably be rocking them because I like them. It works. It works with the whole thing. It just works. It just works. But that's the point. The buff missionary now, and maybe it'll be the buff doctor in a couple of years. We'll see if I can graduate all right, take care of my business. Pray for me. But that's what it is right there. Okay. So having said all of that, I have fully embraced it, being the buff, being the missionary, anything all in between. And while I was talking In a recent video, I talked about the point of this channel, at least in terms of the spiritual content. When it comes to some of the other content, there will be a fitness aspect. I think there's a lot of practical life lessons that you can learn from principles we get through exercise and working out. So I'll talk a little bit about my training. So I'll talk a little bit about some of my training, the things I'm doing to stay in shape, because I think that's so important. I think that health is wealth, longevity, and quality of life are at the top of the list when it comes to existing on this planet. There are a lot of great things that you can do, and there's a lot of cool things that you can achieve. But if you're not in the state of mind and of body to enjoy it, what's the point? So there's that side of the channel as well. You'll get to tap into some of the things that I get to do, some of the things I like. You'll get to tap into some of the things that I enjoy doing, some of the workouts. I'll keep you in the loop with all that stuff. I'm on a calisthenics tip right now, body weight training. For some reason, I get a lot more sore doing this. It's a lot more technical, using a lot more muscles and things that you don't normally use when you're doing bench work, when you're doing bench weights. I've done a lot of that in the past too. And it's okay. You can get really strong, but my thing is, I can do a handstand in the airport. I can do a human flag on a winding trail up a volcano in Hawaii. Can't do a bench press. Can't do a deadlift. Can't do chest flies. Well, you can, you'll just look really dumb. I'd rather look cool if I'm trying to work out in public, just to be honest. Yeah, I kid, but not really. So that's what it's about. That's the other side. You'll see some of those videos coming soon. More to come. But yeah, I'm done talking. I think I'm just rambling now. So I'll catch you in the next one. All right. Peace.